Hey folks, this is Bailey from Dank Wargaming, and welcome to Historical Hard to Find, our new series of how-to builds that focus on converting readily available models into much harder to find ones. Today we're making plastic Arab horse archers for the Crusade period using Victrix miniatures. This video will cover how to build two different assemblies that I see using these kits because I see one as being a little more easier to do because of the way the bodies are molded on the sprue, and one that's definitely a little bit harder. So let's get building. I'm going to start with what I consider to be the easier of the two assemblies. This model uses the horse and rider from the Norman unarmored cavalry kit. The head and the arms and the accessories all come from the Islamic infantry kit. So we're going to start with the horse. Make sure that you've got the right two halves of the horse. They're all numbered on the sprue, so you can keep track of which one goes where. So this one fits there. It's a nice, smooth, tight-fitting dry fit. And there is the horse. Now, I know a lot of people, they like to do the rider separate from the horse. I've come to appreciate putting the horse and the rider together right at the beginning because it makes it a lot easier to just keep it all together in the end, because you'll have the issues with the fact that the rider might pop off later when you're just trying to super glue them on, and then you mess up your paint job and everything else. This gives you an opportunity to like really fuse them together with the super glue or with the plastic glue so that it stays together as one piece a lot better. I like that. All right, so then I like to do all the sort of like accoutrement at this point. So we're going to go over here and take a look. All right, the quiver, you can see it's supposed to go on the left side here, or the right side of the model, so dry fits right in there. So we're going to come in, we're going to put some glue in here to try and help support this little tiny strap that it's supposed to fit on, because we want to try and get some of the glue on the quiver itself so that it just stays where it is. And sometimes I'll even come in afterwards and just drop a little bit of glue where I know I can see where the quiver fits, just to help support that little tiny strap that connects it up to the belt. And then you can see the sword is supposed to go on this side. So we're going to come in, basically doing the same thing over here. Coming in and trying to help support the scabbard straps by gluing extra glue. This is on the scabbard to help keep it on the model. It's a little bit harder to do this with the microphone and a camera and a light in my face than it is when I was doing my pre-runs. So bear with me here. So now we've got this guy to here. So this is the easier assemblage because, as you can see on his arms, he doesn't have shoulders. The other kit, you'll see there's two of them in the kit. They kind of have shoulders already built onto the body, and so you have to kind of take a little bit off the arms to make them fit right. So it doesn't look like he has really weird long arms. So, but here with this, you can just kind of really go in and put these on here. And again, I should be dry fitting, but I got all excited thinking about the next guy. Come in here and put this arm on. And now this is one of those interesting things that there's a huge debate going on in history about how historical archers actually fired, because when you watch movies and see competition shooting, there's like a crisscross that happens with the arrows. Where the arrow kind of crisscrosses and goes to one side of the bow, the opposite side of the bow from where you might think it would go, and that's for like more accurate shooting. But there's some people that are arguing, historians and like historical reproduction guys, that are arguing that actually they fired just straight down the arm. They didn't like cross the arrow over the bow, because it let them fire faster. So you kind of have that kind of debate in the way that the models are built. Like, how are they actually firing their bows? So that's one of those things that is kind of like one of those great mystery. And I don't know if it's a great mystery, but one of the great debates of history is how do people actually fight in combat with bows and arrows? Because it's been so long since we've actually done it that we've kind of lost how that is, and we just kind of base things based on what we do today. What modern archery is not done under combat. And then finally, right, we come in and do the head. You can see here is our Arabic horse archer on the easy assembly, and he's fired an arrow and he's ready to reload and go right back at him. Moving on to the harder of the two assemblies, this model still uses the horse and rider from the Victrix Unarmored Norman Cavalry Kit. The head, well, there is no head because it's attached to the body here. That's what I get for copy and pasting my script notes. But the arms and the accessories come from the Islamic Infantry Kit. And then the helmet that I have over here on the far side, that comes from the Islamic Cavalry Kit. So again, we're going to come in and do a little bit better job dry fitting because we have to with this one because of how goofy this is going to be. So that dry fits very well. I really do like how well these horses fit together. Then again, we have that debate of where do we put the rider on, first or second, or on now or later. I'm on team now, but I'm also not trying to win any major painting competitions. This is a project where it's about getting the models done and painted and on the table because we only have a year to get everything done. So always have that in the back of your mind when I'm working on these projects. So there he is. Okay, so now this is where things get a little messy. So if you look at this guy, you can see he has basically up to his elbow on one arm that's already on the body, and then you can see on this side he kind of goes back into the shoulder. So if you actually look, when you try and put these arms on, this guy's arms are just a little like weirdly long if you just kind of try and stick them on there as they are. So what you got to do is kind of look at the arms, get you some snips here. So I got some Citadel snips here, and kind of look at the arm and see where the elbow is, and then you got to kind of cut it off at that point. So here on this, the cutoff point's like right here, but I gotta switch hands to get in there. It's hard being a left-handed person in this hobby. There, and then you got to make sure you clean it up real quick with a file, although that was a very smooth cut. I'm very happy with that. And then you can apply the glue, and then you come over here and you pop this arm on. As with everything, there's always these odd angles you got to try and catch. All right, and then I'm going to kind of do the same thing on the other side with this arm, because I can tell that it's just kind of wonky. So there's a cut break right here. Ooh, come back here. Another very nice clean cut. We're just going to file just to be safe. Glue. Get over here. There, and kind of get it lined up there with the arms, so it looks like the he's got the sagging. You don't want to do it down at the bottom because you want it to look like his tunic is sagging there. All right, then we're gonna come in, and I probably should have done this before. So now you're gonna see why I did it first on the other guys, because now you got to kind of watch out for this arm when you put the scabbard in. And the one thing to remember with the scabbard is if he has his sword out, make sure you get a scabbard that doesn't have the sword handle, the hilt on it, because then he just looks silly. In these scenarios, it's always good to have some little tool. Like I just got like a plain old toothpick here to come in and help you fix your mistakes and be that little finger that you can't quite fit in there in that tight space to get the model done. Come over and do this side. Again, this is always a lot more difficult here because I don't have all these things between me and the model when I'm building it. The test models, because I just don't have a bazillion things in my way. So there, we're going to do a little touch-up glue to help support it. So there you have that guy there. And then finally, we're going to come do the head. And I went, there are Arabic style helmets in the unarmored Norman kit, but I wanted to add a little more diversity. Plus, there's a bigger nose guard on the Islamic cavalry helmet that I'm about to put on, so it covers up the face more. So that way it makes the ethnicity of the rider a little more ambiguous because you can't quite see his face as easily as you do on the ones that are in the other kit. So we're going to come in here. So you have to remember this kit is supposed to be for making Western European Normans. And I'm trying to make him to be some sort of Turkopole, Turkmen, Berber, Arab horse archers. So whatever you can do to kind of obscure the face a little bit so that he's a little more ambiguous. When you start painting the face, you can't quite tell what is going on there. That's probably for the best. So there you go. That is the harder of the two assemblies to make an Arabic horse archer kit from Victrix using the unarmored Norman cavalry kit, the Islamic cavalry kit, and the Islamic infantry kit. And that, folks, is 2 ways to build Crusade period Arab horse archers using available Victrix miniatures. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next historical hard to find. If you have an idea for historical hard to find that you'd like to see, please leave it in the comments below. And finally, I'd like to take a moment to thank Purple Planet for the use of their music. Until next time, I'm Bailey from Dank Wargaming, reminding you that if you like to fight in ranks, then it's time to make them dank.